Number one, which characteristics describe the motivation behind European exploration? Select 3 correct answers. Top left, create political allies. Moving right, locate new labor force, or spread Christianity. Bottom left, expand empires, promote self-government, or economic development. The text box says, articles, laws, and orders for the colony. First, since we owe our highest and supreme duty, our greatest, and all our allegiance to him, King James I, Article 1.6, every man and woman duly twice a day upon the first tolling of the bell shall upon the working dates repair unto the church to dear divine service. Article 1.8, he that upon pretended malice shall murder or take away the life of any man shall be punished with death. The laws divine, moral, and martial for the colony of Virginia, 1610 to 1611. Which of the following reasons best concludes why colonists would have written articles similar to those found in the text box above? Is it A, to keep peace and order, the colonists had to make their own laws because of their distance from the king? Or B, colonists lacked strict guidance and leadership during the early years of their settlement? Or C, every man should read and interpret the Bible for himself and profess no allegiance to the king? Or D, colonists disliked attempts at control by the crown and therefore set up forms of representative government? Number 3, determine which description corresponds to the correct institution or document from the colonial era. Select the correct answer in each row. The description, and then the description and the check boxes are Virginia House of Burgesses, Mayflower Compact, or both. So is it first colonial agreement among the people to abide by the rules? Is that Virginia House of Burgesses, the Mayflower Compact, or both? The second box, first colonial lawmaking group, is that the Virginia House of Burgesses, the Mayflower Compact, or both? Third box, first elected colonial government, is that Virginia House of Burgesses, Mayflower Compact, or both? Contributed to the development of representative democracy, is that Virginia House of Burgesses, Mayflower Compact, or both? The slavery which now largely exists in the American colonies is another mighty evil. Yet, in the generality, it sprang from an unwarrantable desire for gain, for amassing wealth, and in the pride in the heart of their mother country. John Wesley, Thoughts Upon Slavery, 1774. Which of the following colonial groups would have agreed with the excerpt above? I should have said group, there's only one. Is it A, indentured servants, B, colonial businessmen, C, plantation owners, or D, Quakers? Number 5, the primary reasons for the establishment of the colony of Maryland was to A, establish a safe haven for English debtors, B, function as a buffer between English and Spanish territories, C, develop trade relations with various native groups, or D, serve as a refuge for Catholics to avoid persecution. Number 6, determine which detail describes the importance of the historical document. Write the letter in the correct box. And so the first box is Mayflower Compact. The second box is Fundamental Orders of Connecticut. And the third box is for the Virginia House of Burgesses. A, maintain law and order in Jamestown and surrounding settlements. B, First written constitution that expanded voting rights to non-church members. C, continued the ideas of laws made by the people. And so that A, B, or C needs to go in one of those three boxes. And you'll need to take a look at that map. It shows trade routes. Right here, it says manufactured goods and luxuries that are going from Britain to the colonies. And the colonies are sending coffee, sugar, and tobacco to Europe. And then Europe is sending cloth, iron, weapons, and wine to Africa. And Africa is sending, the trading ships are sending African enslaved human beings to the Caribbean and the 13 colonies. So that's the map. You scroll down to the question number 7. Using the above map, what conclusion can be drawn as to why the trading system was established? Is it A, the British wanted to expand their empire all over the world? B, the colonies lacked the necessary labor force to harvest cash crops? Or C, the British were seeking a direct sea route to the West Indies? Or D, the colonies wanted to spread Christianity to Africa? All right, for number 8. The excerpt is from the Ohio River Valley Project. North America saw, text box 1, earliest contacts between Native Americans and European settlers in the 1600s. The French were primarily interested in establishing commercially viable colonial outposts. So, text box 3, they created extensive trading networks throughout New France. They relied on native hunters to harvest furs and to exchange these items for French goods like glass beads. During this period, text box 3, furs were highly profitable industry in Europe. Text box 4, Europeans viewed North America as the land of opportunity. With vast natural resources, the fur trade resulted in many long-term effects that negatively impacted native people throughout North America. Okay, so number 8, determine which part of the excerpt explains why the French wanted to develop successful trade relations with Native Americans. So select the correct answer. A, text box 1, B, text box 2, C, text box 3, or D, text box 4. All right, here's number 9. Solemnly and mutually in the presence of God and one another, covenant and combine ourselves into a civil body of politic. And remember, covenant means promise. To enact, constitute, and frame such just and equal laws as shall be fitting for the general good of the colony. Mayflower Compact 1620. So number 9, the colonial document referenced above was significant in establishing the principle of A, mercantilism, B, religious freedom, C, self-government, or D, civic virtue. Okay, we have a map here with arrows pointing to 3 different areas on what is now the United States of America. And the question reads, number 10, after a difficult start, England finally established successful colonies in North America. What physical commonality did the 3 settlements have? Was it A, all 3 were established for religious freedom? B, they all relied on long humid summers and rich soil to survive? C, all 3 were located on the Atlantic seaboard? Or D, they all were self-governing colonies? Number 1. Number 11. It has a text box that says number 1, and then it goes, persecuted and forced out of homeland. The second dot, came for religious reasons. And then the second box, the first dot in the second box says volunteered to start a new colony. And the second dot of the second box came for adventure and wealth. Which pair best completes this graphic? Is it A, Roanoke and Plymouth, B, Plymouth and Jamestown, C, Massachusetts Bay Colony in Roanoke, or D, Jamestown and the Massachusetts Bay Colony? Number 12. Which American colony's economy was based primarily on harvesting rice, indigo, and tobacco? Is it A, New York, B, Massachusetts, C, Virginia, or D, Pennsylvania? Number 13. How did the geography and climate of the southern colonies lead to the development of the plantation system? Explain your answer. Think about the question carefully, then enter your answer in the box provided. 14. The Spanish were motivated to colonize the New World because they wanted to A, address overcrowding in their homeland, B, develop trading centers, or C, stop Native American uprisings, or D, spread the Catholic faith. All right, here we've got a map with a compass rose at top. The 13 original colonies, and we've got a box that points to Boston, New York City, and Charleston. And then this says Atlantic Ocean. And the question with the map says, what physical characteristics do the identified areas have in common? Are they A, port cities, B, mineral deposits, C, abundance of timber, or D, rich, fertile soil? Number 16. It has the graphic here that says 1620, and then next to 1620 it says Pilgrims leave Holland and sail to the New World. And then 1630, Puritans establish a settlement in the Massachusetts Bay Colony. And then 1640, Roger Williams and Anne Hutchinson are viewed as dissenters. So, which of the following descriptions, let me try that again. Which of the following describes the connection to all the events listed above? Is it A, the desire to develop more stable economies, B, steps taken to create large population growth, C, the push to provide women with equal rights, or D, steps taken to establish freedom of religion? Number 17. How did the Virginia House of Burgesses impact the growth of representative government? Is it A, it gave people a voice in how they wanted to govern themselves, B, it showed that the king was not afraid to let his chosen representatives rule in the New World, or C, it kept the colonists from participating in the running of their government, or is it D, it showed that a small group of citizens controlled how all other citizens would live? Number 18. American colonists felt it necessary to establish their own representative institutions due to A, the right of the colonists to keep slaves, B, the belief in separation of church and state, C, the desire to maintain mercantilist policies, or D, the distance between the colonies and Great Britain. All right, here's a primary source that starts off by saying, the said freemen shall yearly choose members to serve in a general assembly as their representatives. William Penn, 1682. So the question that goes with it is number 19. Which important aspect of self-government is highlighted in the above quote? Is it Sorry, I gotta fix my computer here. All right. Number 19. Which important aspect of self-government is highlighted in the above quote? Is it A, federalism, B, checks and balances, C, an elected legislature, or D, mercantilism? Number 20. Which excerpt best expresses a political reason for coming to the New World? Is it A, his object being to find another treasure like that of Atahualpa? He would not be content with good lands nor pearls. Or B, the Indians were totally deprived of religion, and through our mission we set to change them. Is it C, the king of the country I lived hath given me a great province to settle with those who hath honor him? Or is it D, the native promised to fill a room with gold and silver? There was sufficient gold to fill the room. Which of the following describes the New England colony's economy? Select two correct answers. Okay, so there's two correct answers. Is it A, settlers grew staple crops like wheat, barley, and oats to provide for colonies? Is it B, the abundance of lumber in the region allowed settlers to build and sell ships? Is it C, many colonists grew indigo and shipped it back to England to use in fabrics? Or D, a robust fishing industry developed due to access to the Atlantic coast? Number 22. Americans today are guaranteed freedom of religion under the First Amendment. Which of the following events originally paved the way for this freedom? Originally paved the way is what it says. So is it A, Jamestown created the Virginia House of Burgesses? Is it B, the Pilgrims escaped persecution from the King of England? Is it C, John Rolfe married Powhatan Princess Pocahontas? Or D, the colony of Georgia was established as a haven for debtors? Okay, there's a text box at top that says, "O sinner, consider the fearful danger you are in. The wrath of the Almighty God is now undoubtedly hanging over a great part of this congregation. How can you rest one moment in such a condition?" During which event would this message have been communicated? Is it A, the starving time at Jamestown, Virginia? B, Jonathan Edwards' sermon during the Great Awakening? C, Anne Hutchinson's descent from the Puritan Church? Or D, the speech given by King James I to separatists? All right, so we got a box here, and it says, it's titled Estimated African American Population in the 13 Colonies, 1690 to 1740. So in 1690, the New England colonies had 905, middle colonies had 2472, southern colonies had 13,307. In 1700, New England had 1,680, middle colonies had 5,361, the South had 22,476. In 1710, New England had 2,585, the middle colonies had 6,218, and the South had 36,063. In 1720, New England had 3,956, middle colonies had 10,825, the South had 54,058. In 1730, New England had 6,118, the middle colonies had 11,683, and the South had 73,220. And 10 years later, in 1740, the New England colonies had 8,541, middle colonies had 16,452, and the South had 125,031. So the question, number 24, which statement explains the changes shown in this table? Is it A, more African Americans were needed in New England shipbuilding communities? Is it B, the middle colonies did not need slave labor to harvest staple crops? Or C, more African Americans were needed to harvest cash crops grown in the South? Or D, the use of slave labor declined after early colonization? Okay, this is the last one. This one we've been looking for. The box says the colonies were particularly well suited for small farms and soon became known as the breadbasket. It was here that wheat, oats, barley, and rye were often grown. The fertile soil of the area even permitted a large amount of grain to be exported. So here's the question. Number 25, the quote above represents which colonial region? Is it A, Western colonies, B, New England colonies, C, Southern colonies, or D, Middle colonies?